What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 83, and we start today's episode off on the back of our victory against Southampton. We're heading in to today's opening game in the Premier League, first of four against Wolves at Rodney Parade. We've gone 7 points clear of the Red Devils, 8 clear of Liverpool and 10 clear of Everton. As we know, if we win 3 of our remaining 5 games, we will be Premier League champions. You know, the last episode right towards the end I said if we bottle this it will be the worst bottle of all time. I mean it. What a chance we've got to be champions of the Premier League in season 6. Surely I'm not going to choke this away. So yeah, first game, it was indeed Bruno Lage's side here in South Wales, and I wanted to get one of those 3 wins here. I wanted to make sure that we'd wrap this up as soon as we could, because we had the Europa League semi-finals to come against Sparta Prague on Thursday night, and a win would do us the world of good after what has been, to be fair, not a very convincing run of form for Newport County. In fact, our last 2 Premier League games, 2 of our last 3 Premier League games, before the one against Southampton to win, were defeats. We lost to Blackburn, and then we lost to Manchester City. We got back on track against the Saints, but really, we've been stumbling a little bit. We threw away our games in hand. Thankfully, the win against Southampton put us back on track, but really, we've not been at our best. So when Moise Keane, the Italian, put Wolves in front, I wasn't one bit surprised because, well, first of all, Keane always scores against me in FIFA career mode. I've talked about it before, and in Football Manager as well. This guy's like my arch nemesis in both FIFA and FM. Always scores against me. He gave Wolves the lead, but we would respond. Rabbi Matondo put us back on level terms, gave us the equaliser, and how often do I say it? Well, practically every single episode. When I need someone to turn the fortune and the favour in my way, it's always a dynamic duo who I can depend upon. First, Matondo bagging our equaliser, and then before the break, Gavin Humphreys getting the goal to put us in front for the first time in the game right before half-time with goal number 19 this season. He's been incredible ever since he came out of the academy, but this has been his best season to save, both for club and country. Newport County 2, Wolves 1, and in the second half, 13 minutes after the restart, Wolves trying to play out from the back, gave the ball away, and you can't do that against us and our dynamic duo. Humphreys and Matondo with the 1-2, Rabbi bags another in his pursuit of back-to-back golden boots. Half an hour on the clock, we have a 2-goal cushion, and we'd keep it. Final score in South Wales, Newport County 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Huge win there. 4 games to go in the season, and the table now looks like this. 8-point gap on Liverpool, 10-point gap on Manchester United. We do have the game in hand, of course, so can cut it back to 7, but with 4 games to go now, we know 2 wins in 4, and we are champions, almost there. And like I said in the last episode, if we were to bottle it, it would be the worst bottle of all time, because the goal difference is great. We had this lead and we had the games in hand that I threw away with the losses to Blackburn and Manchester City. I mean, we shouldn't be letting these guys back in the title race, yet we did. But now we've got some separation again. Surely it's going to be our first major honour to save this year. So following that, we had the first leg of our Europa League semi-final. RB Leipzig versus Roma is the other tie. We avoided both the Germans and the Italians to take on Sparta Prague. And I talked about it when the tie was drawn. I said we were overwhelming favourites for it. Now, Sparta Prague, as we know, have got some fantastic young talent. None better than Adam Hlozek, the young striker. But actually, they've got some really good young Czech talents. They've got a great, strong academy. Several players in their youth system that have come through and have now got some real quality for now and the future. Krejci at the back is another one with really good potential as well. But for the most part, most of their youngsters have gone. Krejci's still here, but Hlozek has gone, and really most of their good young players have left the club. They're only a 3.5-star team in the game now, so I thought for sure we'd be favourites. Took the lead early through Mark Bound, and to be honest here, should have been home and dry in the first half. I missed golden chances to double our lead and extend it, and the trend continued in the second half. Rabbi Matondo was so far clear here, had a chance to pull out a newspaper from the back pocket and read the funnies. Instead, put the ball straight at the goalkeeper and missed a great chance to make it 2. But 64 minutes in, oh my goodness, that's got to be one of the best assists I've done in FIFA 22. Gavin Humphreys with an incredible 40-yard through ball to Rabbi Matondo. The first touch is great, the finish is just as good. We're 2-0 up in the Czech Republic, and Prague right now we're seeing Sparta down by 2 and surely heading out of the Europa League. Having said that, they did hit back. They didn't really cause me any problems in the first hour, but after we led by 2, momentum changed. Whether I kind of took my foot off the gas pedal or not, I'm not entirely sure. But he got some chances late on in the second half here, as they were still down by 2. Really needed a goal to have any chance whatsoever of getting back in the tie, and they did. 9 minutes to go. Heck of a strike from just outside the area here by Minchev. In off the woodwork as he finds the top corner. So, to be fair to Sparta Prague, they could have thrown in the white towel I've said that before. They could have thrown in the towel when they were 2-0 down and totally capitulated. Instead, well, it's not over yet. We lead by a goal, and I'll be honest here, this tie should be over. Leipzig and Roma during the first leg in Italy. The tie should be over, man. Like, I should have won that game in that first leg by 3 or 4 goals, but instead it's only a 1-goal lead, so it's not over yet. We're still favourites. We're still comfortable favourites heading back to South Wales, but no away goals in European ties now, as we know. The job's not done yet. I wanted to have 1 foot in the final heading into the second leg. Instead, might have a toe or 2 in there, but it's not over just yet. Still, following that, as you can see, we ended March. We look at a scouting update and April with a scouting update and academy update. You see our final fixtures in the Premier League here. We got Arsenal at home, Fulham at home, Aston Villa at home, and the final day is on the South Coast away against Graham Potter's Brighton. Like I said, 2 wins from 4 now is all we need to be crowned Premier League champions, and based on results elsewhere, we could potentially do it in this one. The first game of May against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal at Rodney Parade. If Liverpool and Manchester United fail to match our results, I believe, if my maths is right, which often it's not, we would be Premier League champions. So taking on the Gunners and a chance to potentially do it in this game right here. And I wanted it done as well. I wanted to know heading into that second leg against Sparta Prague, the job is done and we are Premier League champions. So taking on the Gunners, we had the first chance, great couple of saves there, kept the score at 0-0, but then soon afterwards, just 9 minutes into a frenetic start to the game, the former Toffee, Richarlison, puts the Gunners in front and the Brazilian makes it 1-0. The visitors lead. And I was thinking, goodness, man, seriously. You know, I know we had the back-to-back wins in the Premier League against Southampton and Wolves, but before that, it was back-to-back defeats against Blackburn Rovers and Manchester City. We're just not really looking convincing in the Premier League right now. We've got to at least get a leveller, and we would as well. Soon after Richarlison gave the Gunners the lead, Ruben Colwill, the former Bluebird, puts us back on level terms with second of the season in the league, makes it 1-1, and we find our leveller. And with 24 minutes to go, a chance to win the game and potentially win the title. Oh, and it would have been poetic how I finished it, but I missed the target, put it wide. Gavin Humphreys with the only chance in the second half, and it was crazy, you know, cliches that football is a game of 2 halves. This was definitely the case. The game started off at a frenetic pace, and in the end, really died down in the second. Could have won it and gone 8 points clear with 3 games to go. Instead, the gap is 6 on Liverpool and 8 on Manchester United, although they do have a game in hand with 3 games to go. So if the Red Devils win that game in hand, they'll cut it to 5, but it does mean that 2 wins in our remaining 3 still does mean we will be Premier League champions. Nothing's really changed on the back of the draw there to Arsenal. 2 wins in 3 is what we need to be champions. And the Red Devils and Liverpool know they'll need to win all 3 games. Well, theoretically, you'd say. To be fair, let's be honest here. We're going to lose all 3 games? I don't think so. Well, touch wood, fingers crossed that isn't the case if they're going to be champions. Destiny's still in our own hands. A draw to Arsenal is technically a slip-up, but doesn't change the scenario. 2 wins in 3 will see us champions of the Premier League. So, yeah, final game of today's episode, Sparta Prague, second leg Europa League semi-final. Won the first leg in Prague by 2-1. Heading back home for this one. You see my lineup into the game. I was taking no chances. I've picked strong lineups in all of my European ties this season because I want to win something this year. I really want to win something. I know the Premier League is almost in the bag, but the Europa League as well, League and European double would be amazing. So strongest first 11 apart from Webb starting ahead of Price. Took lead in the first half for a you-know-who. Matondo's 9th in Europe this season gave us the opener. And whilst we did see Mark Bound pull up in the second half, I was never really in any danger of throwing away this tie and this progress to the Europa League final. Once again, just like in Prague, from the first minute I was in full control. The visitors in the first leg did get a couple of chances towards the end and did get themselves back in the tie with a late goal, but really, if you would have seen the stats for both games, the highlights package was presented very fairly indeed. Thoroughly deserved the win in both legs, and there we go, 1-0 scorelines, or what, sorry, I should say 1-goal wins in both legs, puts us through to the Europa League final, 1-0 on the night, 3-1 over 2 legs. The only bad news was that Bound is done for the season. Bale's regen did pull his quad. He's done for 4 weeks. We won't see him again for the rest of the campaign, which means he'll miss the Europa League final against Roma, who made it for RB Leipzig after a thriller in Germany. It's a Wales vs Italy final, Newport County vs Roma, and in the Premier League, we're 2 wins away from being champions. Surely, silverware is heading into the cabinet this season. But that will end today's episode of Club and Country, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for another episode of Season 6 with our final 3 games in the Premier League, where if we win 2 of them, we will be Premier League champions. And I'll see you for it very soon.